Okay, so you want to be a good, even great lawyer. What are some of the qualities that make someone a great lawyer? Let's see first if you can figure out this fill in the blank. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Exactly. Everybody, or just about everybody, knows this quote. Famous attorney Johnnie Cochran said this quote, I believe, in closing arguments when he represented ex-football player O.J. Simpson in the double murder trial. This was a highly publicized trial. It was a highly publicized pre-trial where O.J. Simpson was going on a run. Everybody's like, he's guilty. And somehow he walks away from a double murder charge. Does this make Johnnie Cochran and his dream team of lawyers great lawyers? What is it about what they did to get O.J. Simpson acquitted make them a great attorney? Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's get into what are some of the good qualities or great qualities of a lawyer. But before I continue, don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you are new to this channel, and comment below if you have any other comments about what we can work on in the future. We're here to help you out. So let's talk about the qualities of a great lawyer. So I mentioned earlier Johnnie Cochran and his dream team and what seemed like a hopeless case. So I would say one of the qualities of a great lawyer is your confidence level. Be confident. Even if you think you have a losing case, be confident. I think other things go into it, preparation of those things as well. But especially if you're in front of a judge or a jury, they're trying to figure out, do you really know your case? Should they really vote for your side if they're a juror? And coming across as confident in what you're saying can go a long way. What you think are your weakest points, they may forget about because you have come across as a confident person, a competent person, meaning this person knows what they're talking about. They wouldn't be representing this person if this person was guilty, or they wouldn't be representing this person if we should vote against them. That confidence level goes a long way. So I would say that's the tip number one as far as being a good/great lawyer is being confident. It's not just always the courtroom. It's also in your writings. Some lawyers don't even step foot in the courtroom and can be confident in their writings. On paper, they come out and say what they want. They have done the research to get to that point, and they're saying, okay, now what? The ball's in your court. Opposing counsel can get intimidated by this and essentially can work out some negotiation. They may want to settle the case instead of taking their risk to go to court. And so being confident, whether it's in a courtroom or when you're on paper as far as written work, can be one of the great qualities of a good lawyer. Okay, so the next tip of what makes a good/great lawyer is listen more than speak. And I know this probably goes against everything you know about lawyers because lawyers are talkers. But if you just listen sometimes, you can figure out what your opposing counsel's points are and work your way backwards from there. Listening lets you know, okay, they keep arguing this point. Let me go ahead and try to counter argue that point. Or you can say, okay, this is what opposing counsel really wants. All this other stuff is fluff. It's a red herring. They really want this. Okay, if they really want this, I'm going to prepare an argument based off of this so that I guess both parties can feel like they walked away with something. Keep this in mind, and you will only know this when you listen. And sometimes it may be listening where you look at the writing in the paper, like, okay, they keep focusing on this argument, but sometimes it might be in negotiations. You're like, okay, they keep swaying towards this side. They obviously want this. How can we walk away? We feel like we won and they feel like they won. That makes a good/great lawyer. Okay, before I go into the next tip, I want you to comment below. Let me know what you think are some of the good qualities of a good lawyer. If you're a lawyer yourself or some people that you've observed if you are becoming a lawyer, what do you think that are some good qualities of a good lawyer? So I want to know because I don't want to just talk at you. I want it to be an interactive thing. You can help some other people out. You might bring up some points that I haven't even brought up as well. So comment below. Another point that makes a good lawyer is being able to see both sides of the equation. So if you're like, oh yeah, we have a slam dunk case. We have this. We're going to go in there with this. And you don't know what the other side is going to bring to the table. That's not good. You're not prepared. You have to be able to put on both hats to say, okay, this is what is going to make us win. What is the other side thinking? And be able to have a counter argument already prepared to say, okay, if they bring up this point, we're going to use this. If you can't see both sides of the argument and you go into court and the other side makes their argument and the judge says, what do you think about that? And you're not already prepared, it doesn't even matter what your particular argument was before that. The judge might say, they make a good point. And you want to say, hey, judge, I know they said this, and then knock it down and say, well, this is where the hole is in the argument, A, B, and C. And that way you have your own strong argument already to support why you think your case should win. But you also have this counter argument, which basically negates whatever your opposing counsel is talking about. So, like I said, know both sides of the equation. Put your hat on and say, if I was on this side and I was going to defend this part, what I do. And I know, like, sometimes you guys, if you were in debate classes, you had to do that. You had to be able to argue both sides. Sometimes the teacher would give you that as an assignment. This all prepared you for things like this when you became a lawyer. Okay, so the next point I'm going to talk about is actually read for understanding. I know that sounds very elementary, reading comprehension. You remember that on the LSAT? Well, it's coming back to haunt you because reading for understanding is so important. People underestimate what it means to digest some information and actually know what it means. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a lawyer read something, or even a non-lawyer, read something, not know what it really meant, and then go and make an argument about something that had nothing to do with what they just read. And so if you don't know understand what you're reading, it puts you at a disadvantage. So go into whether it's reading a case law or reading the facts of the case. Understand what you're reading so that you can properly prepare a case for that particular argument. So, reading comprehension, you're not getting away from it. Know what you're reading, understand what you're reading, and that way you'll be more prepared. Okay, so the next tip is, drum roll. This actually is a shout out to Tracy because she reminds me of this often. Take the emotion out of it. You're a lawyer. It's not about your emotions at this point. It's about what is the law, what is the facts prove based on the law, and can I win? And that's it. You don't take personally what opposing counsel is doing, what their client is doing. Some of the best lawyers can argue toe-to-toe in the courtroom on paper, and then after it's all said and done, go meet up at happy hour and have drinks and have a good time. Because it's not about your emotions. It's about, this is my job, this is a case, I'm an advocate for my client, and when this is done, I can still hang out with the opposing counsel. Some people probably are best friends with their opposing counsel. It's not about emotions. It's like, you are there to do a job, I'm there to do a job, we're trying to do it the best we can do it, and we're still friends at the end of the day. So take the emotion out of it and you'll make yourself a better attorney. So shout out to Tracy for ever reminding me about taking the emotion out of it and putting my lawyer hat on and seeing what is available to win the case. Okay, so the last tip I'm going to talk about that makes the qualities of a good lawyer is know the law. If you watch my other videos about passing law exams back in law school, there's no substitution for knowing the law. And if you know the law, understanding what is in your favor, understanding what's not in your favor, and being able to prepare for that. Sometimes the case may be won on something that you found in a footnote of a case that you were like, okay, I don't know if this really supports it. Or it can be something that, a case just came out. I was prepared. I knew because the law changes ever so quickly. I was prepared and I know how to win this case now. And I'm glad this case just got passed down from the Supreme Court, whether it be the U.S. Supreme Court or the Supreme Court of the state. And now this helps my argument. So always knowing the law, what will support your case is a very important thing. I know we all strive for greatness, and I hope that if you're trying to become one of those great lawyers, even if it's not recognized in the public, if you know you have these qualities, it doesn't have to be recognized. You know it for yourself. And so I hope that if you're a first-generation law student, first-generation lawyer, sometimes it can be intimidating knowing that you didn't have those people in front of you to kind of pave the way, but you're the first one to do it. You can make a name for yourself, and you don't have to have that. Don't be discouraged if you don't have that in front of you. You can be a great lawyer and pave that way for other people in the future. So I hope we all continue to strive to be great lawyers. Maybe we'll have that big case in the future where people are quoting us as well, like Johnnie Cochran said in the beginning. But it doesn't have to be the case. We can still be great lawyers even if that hasn't happened. All right, and see you in the next video.